OCO, welcome to Muskogee Life. Today we're in my studio and we are at my metal smithing workbench. I do all sorts of stuff over here. I make sculptures, necklaces, earrings, rings, bracelets, and today it's bracelets. We're going to be using all sorts of different size tubing. I get this copper tubing from anybody and everybody, and I think this particular batch was probably bought at one of the big box stores. It's inexpensive, easy to come by. So we're going to make a bracelet that I believe is called air chased metal forming. It's going to look like it's got a lot of moon craters and stuff in it, and it polishes up really neat. And when we do a patina on it, and all those craters and textures all pop out and they just look really neat. So we will be playing with hammers, we'll be playing with dapping blocks, we'll be playing with our vise, and we're going to have some fun. So let's get to it. We are all set up for our air chased bracelet. We will be using 3/4 inch copper pipe. This is a type M. It's stamped in there, right there. To make our bracelet, besides the copper, we'll need a pipe cutter to cut it with. You could use a jeweler's saw or whatever you need to cut the length off with. Our measurer to measure, Sharpie to mark it. We have a variety of hammers that we'll be using. We'll probably mostly use the ball peen, my 2-pound sledgehammer, and then we have this little one here. It makes some nice texture into the metal. We'll also be using some of the dapping tools here that I have. And maybe not these particular ones, but we'll use a variety of those. And I will be using my ear muffs because it gets quite noisy in here with all this metal flying around. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so let's measure our pipe. I've got some space over here. Move things around a little bit. Measure our pipe. Now, I make my bracelets anywhere between 6.5 and 7, depending on who I think might want to buy it. And I think this is going to be a pretty big, hefty bracelet, so we're going to go with 7, because I think it'll be more masculine. So let's mark it about right there. My pen and my ruler out of the way. We don't need that for a little while. And let's put this into our vise right here. Come on, open it up. There we go, right there. Just so it can hold it, so I can get this around there. Okay. I am using a Husky pipe, if I can get it open. And there we go. It's got this little thing and it just springs that back. It's actually kind of nice. And then you can hold it down and bring it in. So you just kind of put it where you want it and do a light touch. Spin that sucker around. I always go about 2 times. And then I tighten it down, bring it around a couple times, tighten it up. There it goes. Thing away. I can take this one out. We don't need this one for right now. Put that off to the side. Okay, let's look at this and see what we've got going here. Alright, so we have the piece with the type M typed and stamped into it, so we have to sand that off. And our steel wool that we're going to use, that steel wool, and it will just almost erase that red ink they have on here. You want to erase that, get it off of there. Also, while you're doing your steel wool, it really helps to get some of the imperfections off the copper. So if there's some little scratches or something in there, because if you can take care of your metal before it goes, before you start working on it, it will make it easier to polish up and clean up at the end. Okay, so it looks like it took off a lot of the red right in there. There's our type, our stamped right there, and we're gonna use my little Dremel pen eraser. What do you call it? Little Dremel pen sander rotary tool, and I believe this is a 400 grit sandpaper. We're just gonna sand this right there. Get that off of there. It doesn't have to be completely off, but you know, people don't want something like that typed into their jewelry. All right there. And so we're going to take our steel wool and we're going to rub over that spot, and that'll clean up that little sandy spot right there. Yeah, we cleaned it up pretty nice. All right, so now we're going to take our little sander and we're going to clean this up right through here. We'll be closing these ends up, and if you have any sharp edges or anything in there, it'll just mess with you. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's do the other end. Alright, I love my little Dremel pen. It is just nifty, just nifty. Alrighty, so we have our pipe, and it has been cleaned up, and it's got a little bit of a mark right there. See if we can take that out. And I'm going to go anneal it. I'm not doing annealing on this video. One day we will do a video on annealing, but I'll step aside and be right back with you. Okay, so we've got our pipe. It's been annealed, and we went ahead and put it in the pickle. So the next thing we're going to do is that we're going to do our steel wool again and try to get off some of this scale that came up, and then we are going to start actually working on the bracelet with the hammers. Looks pretty good. All right, so now what we're going to do here is we're going to flatten the ends, just the ends of it, so it looks like a pillow. And I'm going to use my little ball peen hammer, the flat side, and we're going to flatten this one end. See it right there? Do the other side, trying to make sure our ends are going to be parallel with each other. Twist it up. All right, there we go. We've got our two ends. They're flattened, and now we have the little pillow shape right here. Now what we're going to do is put it in the vise. After we decide which side we want to have facing up. Looks like I like this side facing up. We'll put it in our vise. This is going to help hold it tight for me so it doesn't bounce around while I'm hammering on it. Get in there the way I want it and tighten it down. That should work. We'll find out. Might just have to do it on the anvil itself. Okay. Now a lot of people like to go in and draw little dots and things on it. I don't. I just get in there with the ball peen. Here we go. And it's moving on me. I guess I didn't get it in there very well. I do have some little leather pieces inside my vise to help protect my metal. Sometimes they come stuck. All right, there we go. Let's see if that works. Tighten that down a little bit. Put some weight on that. All right. So that's not going to work as well as I want. I'd like for it to hold still for me. We're just going to do this right here on the anvil. Can you see that? the indentions I've already made in here. So we're going to try to make some more of those. We're going to go into the same holes and try to make them a little bit deeper. The hammer gets all this, the metal gets all distorted here. See how it's doing right here? Now we're going to come along the side and we're going to do the same thing. So we've got a bunch of little indentions. It doesn't look like much except beat up old copper. We're going to come back in here. We're just going to keep on going to town with it. Trying to get these deeper right here, these craters. Essentially that's what we're doing. We're making some moon craters. See, when you're using a polished hammer, it will polish your metal for you. Yeah, that's looking right there. We're going to go in here, we're going to make some more spots. See how it's forming craters up in there? So we're going to come back and we're going to do some other stuff right along in here once we get pretty much the way we want it. Let me hammer it out with my other little hammer, if I can find it. There it is. My little rawhide hammer, see if we can straighten it out. Flatten it out. It's curling up on us. Might have to put my gloves on in a minute. Get a better grip. All right. So these little spots right through here, we're going to use some of our dapping blocks, different sizes. We'll be using this to decorate the edges with it. But right now, let's see what we can do here. Let me put the glove on. I only need one glove. They don't hold it so it doesn't jump out of my hand so badly. There we go. We're going to try to get some of this right through here. It's getting pretty hard. I might have to go and needle it again. Yep. I can't even. Well, looks like we're going to take a break and go and needle it, and I'll be right back. Okay, so we're back over here. We've annealed it, and we've gotten all the little black stuff off with a wire brush. But I think I'm going to go over it again with some steel wool just to see if we can make sure we get some of this, more of this black out of there before we continue. And I'll put my gloves on real quick. See if we can get some of that. I really don't like handling this steel wool with my bare hands. Oh yeah, that's nice. We don't have to get every little piece of it, but we need to get quite a bit of that out of there. Well, that looks much better. Still got a little bit at this end. Kind of clean this thing up. Let's start out with our rawhide and kind of flatten it out a little bit. So it's not quite so curved. Alright, let's see, where do we want to start? I think this one's too big. Let's put it back. And let's go with one of these little ones. See if we can get down in these crevices a little bit and push those walls up in there a little bit out of the way. The trick is, hold the tool and the bracelet all at the same time. See, we've got that kind of pushed in together there. That looks good. Let's do this other side here. Oops, going away on me. Let's go this way, turn it around. Okay. I think I really like, I don't know if you can see this right along in there on the ridge. I kind of like that little texture. So I think I'm going to use my ball peen and go along the top of that and see if I can do some more of that around on this edge right there. Around, let's get this going on this side. Oh yeah, that looks so much nicer. It's starting to get hard on me again. So it's almost time to anneal again. But let's see if we can get some of the sides done. Can't neglect the sides. good. If you don't do the sides or the edges, it's just going to look all unfinished. Okay, so it's gotten pretty hard again, and so I'm going to re-anneal this, and we'll be right back. Okay, so we've been annealed again, and cleaned with the brass brush, and then cleaned again with some steel wool. So now we are going to try to put a little more texture in here before we start flattening this out. I'll put my gloves on, get my hearing muffs on, and we can get going. Right now, I think I'm going to use this little tool right here. It puts kind of a line texture. I want to go through there a little bit and do some lines on here. Just a little bit, not anything fancy. Sometimes layers of texture really does make a difference. All right, let's go back to our little dabbing tools. See if we can get some definition down in here and around in these little spots. Not doing what I want it to do. Not doing what I want, but that's okay. Every bracelet is quite unique. I need some more hammer marks down here at this end, and I need to close that tube up right there a little more. So let's go in with this one. Okay, that looks better. That looks better. That looks really good. I'm going to get more texture on the sides there a little bit. Well, to me, I've got a lot of texture on this thing. It's looking pretty good. Now's the time that we're going to start really trying to flatten it out. And that's where we're going to take my big sledgehammer, the 2-pound one, and we are going to try to flatten it out. Move this hammer out of the way here. Might have to anneal it again here shortly. Yeah, it's getting there. That's quite a bracelet. I'd like it to be a little more flat. I need to get into the middle there without smashing my fingers. Whew. I think that's looking pretty good. All right, I think it's time to anneal again. So I'll be back with you as soon as that's done. Okay, so we're back from yet again another annealing, scrubbing, and steel wool cleaning. So before I harden this thing by hammering it some more, I want to go ahead and put my my stamp on there. So we're going to get that done. Let's see here. I'm going to lay it off to the side so this end will be flat up against that. It just says Jennifer on here. And we're going to put it right here on the side. You only get one good whack at it. Let's see what we can do here. Yep, barely see it. Right there. It's in there. We're done with that. Forgot to tell my dog that I was about to make noise, and she's jumped up and ran. All right, so now we want to try to curve these corners, take some of this corner stuff off, and I don't know if you can see where it's got a little edge right there where the tube squoze together right here. So we're going to take these corners off and try to clean those up a little bit. And we'll work on those again after we've formed the bracelet. I don't know how soft this thing is, but we're going to go to town. I'm going to use these, they're almost like lock cutters, but they're small enough for my hands, and I'm just going to cut the corners off. I'm going to get in here and nip those corners. Of course, it's not as easy said as done. There we go. I think I need to do this a little differently. Different angle. There we go. Bracelets are better without pointy corners. Makes it easier to get them on and off. Alright, so on these parts right here, we are going to, what are we going to do with those? I think I'm going to get the file out and file that down. And I might be able to use my shears. Let's see if we can use the shears and just trim that down a little bit. Right through there. Oh yeah. There we go. Open it up somewhat, but that's okay. We need to get that off there. Looks good. I wonder if I can make more of a corner with these. A little rounded corner. I don't know if I can cut two. Well, that's pretty tough. Oh yeah, that worked. Yeah. My first one came out great. We're not going to worry too much about it. Put this up. I do have tin snips that I could have used on that, except they leave little ridges. So, okay, so this is opened up right here, so we're going to have to hammer that back closed, both of them. Put our earmuffs on. That's better. Okay. Well, I'm in the mode to go ahead and try to flatten this some more with the sledgehammer. See how flat we can get it here. Of course, you know what all this hammering means. It means we're going to have to nail it again soon. So we get a part right up in here. Looks pretty good. I don't like how thick it is right there. I'm going to see if I can put my hammer on that. That's a little bit better. Alright. So basically, that's the best texture that one's going to get. Except, doing all that flat hammering has messed up my texture on these flat parts right up in here. And I like that hammer look, so I'm going to see if I can get some more hammer look in there before I have to re-anneal it. Too far around the back. That looks much better. Now I'd like to do some sort of texture inside there. And I don't know what to do. Let's see if we can get some lines in there. We got some texture going on there. I think it looks really good. I'm just checking to make sure I'm not missing something. Let's see. What did I do? There's my little chasing hammer. The smaller ball peen than that big one. Let's see if I can get right in here. Okay. Let's see if we can do it with our little one of our dabbing tools. Get a little bit of a hammered look in there. Okay. Clamp that down. Gonna have to hang off the side of the table a little bit. Are we still in the camera? Alright. See if we can get some of that in there. There we go. Still in there? Alright. When you're working on leather, we're just going to tap and move, tap and move. Yeah, it's leaving a different type of texture, not what I was wanting, but just turn it around so we get the other end right up in here. So we're pretty much done here. I don't know if you can see any of that texture or not. We are going to work on sanding the ends down right through here, trying to prep to finish that up a little bit. A file on there first thing. Let's get a file out. And see if we can kind of see how, I don't know if you can see that, how it's kind of the lip is uneven from the two sides of the pipe when it went flat, and that's what we want to straighten up. And that file just eats that copper away, eats it away. I want the corners more rounded like this one. This one's too sharp for me. That's okay, we can work on it. It's looking better. Let's work on the other end. It's got a lot of lip right there showing. I don't know what file this is. It's a Nicholson Black Diamond made in the USA. I probably picked it up at an estate sale. Alright, I think we're to the point where we're going to have to do our special thing and anneal it one more time. It looks pretty good to me. Let me see if I can hammer that down. I'm going to use this one. I like the edges of my bracelets and jewelry to have a texture to it. It just makes a piece look finished. That looks better. That's going to be so cool, all fixed up. Flatten that out a little bit. These ends are going to drive me nutty. I don't know how to deal with those. This one's a Mill, same brand. This one's made in Mexico. I don't know, I was thinking maybe it had a little more grip to it to pull some of this off. Taking it down, and some on this side needs to be done. That's much better. Much, much better. Okay. Tap that sucker down, get some of that dust out of there. Much better. Okay, now I'm going to use my little pencil Dremel and try to get cleaned up a little bit more. Okay, now we're as far as we can go without annealing it. We're going to have to break down and do it because I cannot even bend it. So I will return shortly with an annealed thing, and I'm going to set up to get ready to start forming it into a cuff bracelet. And we're back. We've got our bracelet annealed again. We've cleaned it with the brass brush, some steel wool, and now I have taken my vise off my anvil and I've put on my oval bracelet mandrel. We are going to start to form this into a cuff bracelet. Let me put my glove on, put my earmuffs on. Well, yeah, let's go ahead and do the earmuffs just for general purposes. And I always like to start at the ends and just start a little form. I'm going to use my rawhide hammer to do this. And do the other end. That looked nice. Oops. Yeah, so far so good. It's looking good. Maybe I need to tighten up my anvil. There we go. Maybe it won't move on me too badly. Of course, I'm right-handed and I'm going to whack right. Oops, I'm getting that out of... This just drives me nuts when that does that. Well, hopefully I fixed it from moving too badly on me. And let's get this one going. And I just have to guess at the size. I don't have any guys big enough to wear this around me. It over and get it going this direction with that. Let's see if we can get that out of there. Back up in there. Pull it off, see what it looks like. It's pretty big. I think it's not very ovally to me. Let's see if we can kind of crank that down a little bit. That's looking better. Much better. Let's lay it on our board here and see if it's flat. Oh yeah, nice and flat that way. Oh, I think that's going to look great. It's my wrist now. Still a little big on me, but I'm not worried about me. Okay. So we have our bracelet that we worked so hard at right through here, at getting this edge right here. But see, when we curved it, the top one pulled this way and the bottom one came out. Same way here. Pulled this way and the bottom one came out. So now we have to go back in here and try to maybe hammer this metal over so it seals up that end. We're going to have to do something about that. See what we can do now that we know what we're dealing with right there. And how are we going to do that? Let's think about this a second. So, get my file out and put my glove back on so I can hold the file. Put my glove on over here. We're going to try to file that piece down, just the inside piece. I don't know if you can see me doing that. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. Like you there. Let's see if you can watch me do that. It's a little tough. I would move my thing out of the way, but I have my anvil anchored down so it won't waller on me. And it's just too difficult to try to move, so we're just going to have to work around it. But yeah, I think this was probably the best choice. Just use the file and eat some of that up. It's looking much better. Let's see if we can do something with the other side. Well, this one right here, it's got a little opening in there, so we're going to have to hammer that down just a little bit. See if we can do it with just this one right here. Yeah, that looks much better. Okay, let's see if we might as well do it to the other side. They look the same. So all I'm doing here is just hammering the edge of it, giving a little texture, squeezing those end pieces together. Making that end look much better. All right. Actually, I think this bracelet looks done. Except now, sand this, polish this edge, get all that stuff out of there. So let's go ahead and get our pin sander out again. Favorite little Dremel drill. And this is 240 right here. Get all those scuffs off I put in there while I was hammering. And sanding it down. Let me take off my gloves so I can feel it. See how it looks. It's pretty smooth. I don't feel any bad scratches on there. Of course, now we have to change out our sandpaper for a lighter paper, and then we'll go to the 400 grit and start working on polishing all this up, clean it up. So let me move some stuff out of our way, and we'll be right back with you. Okay, we're back. Cleared our workspace a little bit. I've put in a 400 grit sandpaper in my Dremel pencil, and put the gloves on so I can hold on to my stuff, and we're going to get to doing a little polishing on this thing. Cleaning it up enough to do a patina on it, and then we'll throw it in the tumbler to get it all nice and hard. Here we go. We want to make sure we do the inside nice, because that's going to be up against somebody's wrist. It's already starting to look really good, and all I've done is run some sandpaper over it. It's really good. I think I hit it right there. I think that's looking pretty good. All right. Do the next one. Let's change that out. Okay. So we are going to try to do a little more polishing on this thing. I think it's looking pretty good, but I've found some of my little sanding things I've had, and I want to try them out. So I think it's a perfect project for these little sanding discs. Now these are not 3M. They're Heart, I believe, brand. You could pick them up at that Walmart, I believe. And it's the only place in Muskogee I could find these on the shelf. So if I like them, I will be ordering some from Rio Grande or one of the other jewel. Get my gloves on and go to town on it. See if it's going to work for us. See if it's going to look any better. All right. These little sanding discs are supposed to be able to get down in those crevices and stuff. So let's see what we can do. I do have to admit, it's shining it up nicely in there. Well, that looks really good. And that was with a 120. Now the highest grit I could get at the Walmart on the sanding disc was a 220. So we're going to do the 220 and then we'll go back over it with our sanding papers. Okay, here we go again. Start with the inside. Okay, look at that. It's gorgeous. All right, we are going to kind of dust this off a little bit as much as we can. There's a couple of places I'd like to clean up in there, but I'm not going to worry too much about them. We're going to get some liver of sulfur together, and we're going to pickle this. I say pickle it, I mean patina it, and then we'll do the finishing, polishing and everything, and then it'll go in the tumbler to make it even harder than it already is. It's pretty hard. And that'll clean it up nice and soften up the edges a little more. And so let me get the liver of sulfur together. We'll be right back. Okay, we're all set up to patina, and we're going to patina our air chased bracelet that we have been working on. And so right here I have baking soda and water mixed together to neutralize the patina. We are using liver of sulfur gel, and it just takes a drop of it. So I have my little tub here, and it's hot water, and we just need a drop or so of that. And get that off to the side and get that stirred up. Okay, and we're just going to drop this bracelet just right into the sulfur. And in the meantime, I'm going to put the gloves on so we can handle this thing. It's slowly going in there. Actually, my liver of sulfur looks a little on the thin side. Let's add a little more. My little bottle here is pretty old. It's probably a good 10 years old. I don't know how long this stuff lasts. There we go. Now we're getting some color on our bracelet. You see it's starting to patina for us. It really doesn't take too long. Let it sit there for another moment or two. Looking good. So in the meantime, we're going to do this. Once it comes out, we'll rinse it, and then we're going to clean the patina off the high parts. In our baking soda water. Then we're just going to rinse this. And now we are going to clear off my space and get ready to clean this up. Okay, so I've changed my water out to just plain water, and we're now going to clean this patinaed. We're going to remove all the black and show up all the little shiny copper. So I have some well-used stainless steel wool and a little bit of dishwashing liquid on there, and we're just going to clean it. Okay, so we are in the process of removing that, and we're leaving the stuff that's down into the crevices, but we're taking it off all the high points. It really gives the bracelet a little bit of definition. So let's see what it looks like. Yeah, got a little spot or two to go. Shine on that. And then on the inside where my signature is, there's that. Alright, look at that. Okay, this one is ready for the tumbler, and we'll be right back with you. We have been working on is out of the tumbler, and been patinaed. It's gorgeous. Look at that. It's got some texture to it. It's got definition. It's very smooth. It's got some weight to it. This is a bracelet. Look at that. It looks great on. A little big for me, but it's great on. And then we had some other ones we worked on. Here's one. It's a slightly smaller tube. And it turned out really good too. And then we have this one right here. And it's a smaller, even a smaller pipe that was used. They look really good. They turned out well. All right. So now we've got some beautiful air-chased copper bracelets. Beautiful. So see you next time at Muskogee Life in the studio at the workbench. Why don't?